There is something living inside your mind. You cannot see it or touch it, but you hear it constantly. It is the voice that wakes you at 3 a.m., replaying a conversation from 10 years ago. It is the narrator that convinces you everyone in the room is judging you. It quietly shapes your anxiety, your sadness, and your inability to act. And you believe this voice is you. You assume the non-stop stream of judgment, planning, worrying, and replaying is your personality. You believe your thoughts reflect reality. They do not. You are living inside a mental simulation, a hallucination created by a mind running without direction. Your body is here, watching the screen, but your attention is elsewhere. You are in a future that does not exist, preparing for disasters that never happen. Or you are trapped in a past that is already gone, dissecting old memories, trying to change outcomes that are fixed. Because you are rarely present, you are rarely alive. You move through your own life like a shadow. Most people never escape this state. They spend decades confined inside the small space of their own mind, ruled by a voice they never chose. They accept this as normal and call it being human. It is not. It is a condition of the modern mind. So what happens when the noise finally stops? What happens when you disconnect the loudspeaker entirely? This is not about positive thinking. It is not about suppressing emotions or distracting yourself with quick pleasure. It is about a profound psychological shift, the collapse of the false self. When you stop living inside your head, the change is not just emotional. Your perception of the world changes. Colors appear sharper. Time feels slower. Your presence becomes solid and noticeable, unsettling to those still lost in thought. You stop reacting automatically and begin acting deliberately. But to reach that state, you must examine your own mind closely. You have to look at the disorder you have been hiding behind composure. Expect resistance. Your mind will urge you to stop. It will say this is too long, too intense, too uncomfortable. That reaction is the system defending itself. Ignore it. The quiet you want exists beyond this discomfort. Here is a direct truth. Most of your suffering is not happening in the world around you. It is happening inside your mind. Philosophers understood this long ago. Psychology is now confirming it. There is a concept known as the second arrow. The first arrow is the event itself. You lose a job. Someone insults you. You get sick. That is real and it hurts. Then comes the second arrow. The second arrow is the story you tell yourself afterward. I lost my job, so I'm a failure. That means I'll never recover. No one will respect me. She didn't reply, which means she doesn't care. That means I'm unlovable. That means I'll end up alone. The first arrow strikes once. The second arrow is self-inflicted, again and again, day after day. You become dependent on it. Why does this happen? Because your brain is not designed to make you calm or satisfied. It is designed to keep you alive. To the primitive brain, silence feels dangerous. In early survival conditions, quiet often meant a threat was nearby. So the mind learned to fill silence with problems and predictions. When there are no real threats, it creates them. It imagines rejection, failure, and loss. It believes constant worry gives control over the future. This is the central illusion of anxiety. Thinking harder does not solve the problem. It only traps you in motion without progress. It is like pressing the accelerator while stuck in mud. The engine strains, the noise increases, and nothing moves forward. Living in your head distorts reality. You stop seeing people as they are and turn them into characters in your internal story. You project your insecurities onto them. Feeling small makes others seem arrogant. Feeling guilty makes neutral words feel like accusations. Fear of abandonment pushes you to cling until people leave, confirming the fear you started with. This is why relationships collapse. Not because of others, but because you are not engaging with them directly. You are interacting with a version of them created in your mind. You argue with an image while the real person stands confused in front of you. This mental loop has a cost. The cost is not your heartbeat. It is the substance of your life. When lost in thought, you are absent. You are not tasting food fully. You are not hearing music clearly. You are not feeling the warmth of someone close to you. You skim through existence without depth. There is also a strategic cost. A mind trapped in thought is slow. It hesitates and overanalyzes. In any confrontation, the person planning their response has already fallen behind. The one who is fully present, with no internal noise and full awareness, holds the advantage. Look at elite athletes, seasoned warriors, and high-level performers. At their peak, they are not thinking. They are fully engaged. The commentary disappears. Awareness takes over. That is flow. And that is the state this training points toward. Action and awareness merge into a single process. When you stay trapped in your thoughts, you lose energy. Your brain uses roughly 20% of your body's total energy. When you overthink, it is like running a long race while sitting still. This is why you feel drained. This is why you wake up tired. Your mind has been fighting through the night. And others can sense it. Humans evolved to detect vulnerability. When someone lives inside their head, they project a clear signal: anxiety, need, absence. You recognize it immediately. You speak to someone and sense they are not truly listening. They are preparing their response, scanning the environment, worrying about how they appear. Do you trust them? Do you respect them? Now consider the opposite. Imagine meeting someone who is fully present. Their eyes are steady. Their body is still. They are not trying to impress you or extract anything from you. They are simply there. That level of presence is unsettling. It draws attention. It signals authority. When you stop living in your head, you become that person. You become the center of calm. Disorder moves around you, but it does not enter you. To reach this state, you must understand who you actually are. This is where discomfort begins. Are you your name? No, that is a label. Are you your profession? No, that is a role. Are you your body? No, it changes constantly. Are you your thoughts? This is the central error and the source of suffering. Try a simple exercise. Close your eyes briefly. Ask yourself, what will my next thought be? Then wait. Watch closely. You will notice a short gap before a thought appears. In that space, you existed. The thought did not. If you can observe a thought, then you cannot be the thought itself. The observer is separate from the content. The screen is not the movie. The sky is not the clouds. You are the awareness behind the mental noise. The voice in your head is a biological system. It is a survival mechanism generating information, danger signals, judgments, predictions. The issue is not the data. The issue is that you treat every output as truth. When the voice says, "I am worthless," you do not observe it. You accept it as fact. True detachment is the ability to step back and watch the system operate without being pulled into it. Instead of saying, "I am anxious," you note, "There is tension in my chest. My thoughts are moving quickly." The difference between identifying with emotion and observing it is the difference between drowning and standing on the shore. This is not about stopping thoughts. You cannot shut the mind down. Trying to do so creates more agitation. You allow thoughts to arise. You allow them to run. But you stop believing them. Treat the mind like a disruptive roommate. If someone followed you all day shouting threats and insults, you would not debate them or take them seriously. You would ignore them and continue your work. Eventually, without attention, the noise would fade. This is the same approach. You do not fight mental chaos. You remove the fuel. Attention is the fuel. If this is so simple, why do most people fail? Because they are attached to their suffering. Even if they deny it, pain provides identity. Without it, they would have to face the present moment without a story. They would have to accept responsibility for their lives. The internal voice explains why things have not worked out. It builds narratives where you are misunderstood, wronged, or destined to struggle. The ego prefers this role. It would rather be unhappy and unique than content and ordinary. To stop living in your head, you must allow the old identity to dissolve. Not physically, but psychologically. This is what Jung described as confronting the shadow. It is what contemplative traditions call ego dissolution. You realize the self you defend is a construct built from memory, habit, and protection. When you shift into the observer, the ego feels threatened. This is why silence feels uncomfortable. The mind responds by increasing noise. It brings up fears, responsibilities, regrets. It is attempting to regain control. Do not engage. Let it react. Stay still. This path requires discipline. It is easier to remain controlled by noise than to govern silence. But the result is autonomy. When thoughts no longer define you, external pressure loses its grip. Insults no longer penetrate. Failure becomes information, not identity. You adapt without resistance. On the other side, the first change you notice is silence. Not emptiness, but a stable, alert stillness. You stop waiting for the next moment and realize that only the present has ever existed. The past is memory. The future is projection. Life is always now. Fear disappears because fear depends on imagined futures. You cannot fear what is happening. You can respond to it, but fear itself dissolves. Efficiency increases. Procrastination fades because there is no internal debate. You see a task and complete it. Relationships improve because you stop using others to reinforce your identity. You see people clearly and they sense it. They feel safe. This state also brings independence. Manipulation loses effectiveness. Emotional pressure no longer works. Group thinking does not pull you in. You remain anchored in awareness. The mental voice will not disappear immediately. It has momentum. When it starts, notice it. Do not judge it. Recognize it and return to physical presence. Return to breathing. Return to sensation. Do this repeatedly. Each return is practice. Each return strengthens awareness. Over time, the gaps grow longer. Calm deepens. And one day, you will notice the narrator is silent. And you will finally see what has been in front of you all along. Not the word sky, not the idea of the sky, but the thing itself, wide, endless, quiet, just like you. If this message shifted your perspective, understand that this is only what can be shared openly. There are limits to what I can present publicly. Certain areas of psychological study cannot be discussed freely on YouTube without restrictions. Content that explores the deeper mechanics of the mind is often suppressed by the platform. That material exists elsewhere. If you are still watching, you are already different from most. Subscribe if you have not done so. And if you want access to what is not shown publicly, use the Join option to enter the Architect level. There, you will find exclusive, uncensored content that examines the deeper layers of human psychology. Most people will not take that step. That is intentional.